Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, introducing you to my Modern Warfare 3 Veteran Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Bag and Drag, and this is Act 2. I'm going to be starting off in this lovely helicopter, I believe, moving into Paris. And yeah, definitely there's the Eiffel Tower, and here we are. So you're going to start this game out, or this mission should I say, with one of the best weapons on the game, which is the Scar L. The only problem with it is it's got an ACOG, and it's not my preference whatsoever. It might not be yours, but if you like them, you'll be loving it. If you don't, you'll probably want to not use it and trade it out for something different. But the gun itself cannot be knocked. It is a fantastic weapon, and it is very useful. This mission itself is nothing too memorable in difficulty, because I don't remember being challenged too much. This early stuff is very slow. As you can see, we're waiting for Grinch and Sandman, and if any of you have been picking up on voice actors in this game, or you're a bit of a film buff, you will recognise a few people. The guy who does Sandman is the dude who plays the accountant in Drive Angry. He's in everything actually. He's in Equilibrium. He was the FBI agent in the second season of Prison Break. I don't know his name. I should know his name. He's a fantastic actor. And the guy who does the voice to Grinch is Timothy Olyphant, if you didn't know. The guy in Justified, the guy who was the bad guy in Die Hard 4, and the guy who played Agent 47 in the Hitman movie. So, really good actor as well. And they do some decent performances, which is nice. But this is your first checkpoint. This is when you're going to really get to see how damaging this Scar is, because all the guns on this game work, but this sounds really nice, and it really does some significant damage. So just push your way into this, I think it's a bookstore or some kind of library, I'm not too sure, but there's a bunch of guys on the balcony and there's a bunch of guys to the right of the room, down behind all the stacks of books. So what you want to do is you want to clear the balcony as best you can, because the guys on the bottom floor can't really see you too well. And just look at this, I'm not even headshotting them and the gun is taking them down. It's literally 1 or 2 rounds and the dudes are falling, and that is what I love about Call of Duty. I've now made maybe 20 guides. Some big, some small. A lot of them have been first-person shooters, because that's what these consoles have been releasing, because they sell so well. And my biggest criticism of a lot of the ones I haven't enjoyed has always been the enemies taking immense amounts of damage, complete and utter bullet sponges. I think it's one of the worst things about the Uncharted series, that and the aiming, and that's a shame, because they would be almost perfect games if it wasn't for those things that really irritate me. But it's all down to the amount of damage the enemies take, and I know that Call of Duty ain't for everybody or for everybody's tastes, but you can't deny that people fucking die when you shoot them, and that is what I love. And there's probably a few people thinking that it takes some of the challenge away, but you die super quick, they die super quick. It's the best kind of odds, I believe. You don't need heavies all the time, or you know, people with shields or something. It just needs a healthy mix of, if you shoot them, they die, if they shoot you, you die. And just focus on getting that mechanic and that dynamic working really well. But once you push into the street, you'll just hit a checkpoint right there, and you're going to be moving into this kitchenette area, where there's a lovely ammo supply over here, and there's a silenced MP5, which is on this stove over here with the G36. And if you've not used the G36 that much, pick it up. It's a fantastic gun. It seems really good in the multiplayer, but it's a really late-end assault rifle unless you use the first creator class. But when you push into this area, this can be a little bit challenging, this section. The only reason it's hard is you'll notice in a moment there's going to be a bunch of guys spawning, and if you don't push forward, they will continue to spawn on that area. You'll notice I'm moving super aggressively. I'm just pushing as far forward as I can. Those guys up there will keep on spawning. 2 of them will have RPGs, and if you move into this room to my right, you can flank through the buildings and get close to them. Just be really careful, because there's a ton of dudes that'll spawn, and as soon as you enter this next room, there's going to be a whole bunch of guys that'll come through that entrance. And I just threw a flashbang, stunned a bunch of them, started mowing them down with the MP5, throw another flashbang, get into cover, reload my gun, put my Scar back on, and then I can start eking my way out and cleaning dudes up. And if you can push yourself to where I am right now, you will pretty much cut off the spawn. And once you trim enough of these enemies away, they shouldn't continue to assail you, and you should just be able to take out the last 2 guys. I swap out the MP5 for the 74U because I love this gun, and it is not in the multiplayer, which is absolutely criminal. Absolutely criminal, but what can you say? And then just focus on these guys. Be really careful here though, people, because the RPGs on this game do not fuck about. If they catch you with that, you might as well just, you know, pull your trousers down, lube your ass up and get ready for the ride, because you ain't surviving it. And just be careful of this. I don't know where he came from. I thought he was on my team, that's why I hesitated. But as soon as I didn't see a name, I unloaded in his face. But just keep pushing forward, following your objective, and we'll see what's happening next, because I've been playing a lot of multiplayer, and I do apologise that I haven't had this guide up faster. I had it recorded the day the game came out. I just had to do the commentary, and I wanted to play the online too much, so I've kind of got a little bit lazy. And with my time with the online, I can pretty much say it's probably one of my favourite Call of Duty's online, because there's a lot of things that make it a lot more fun than some of the other ones have been. There are still a lot of problems, which I'm probably going to discuss in some of the multiplayer commentaries I've got coming up, but I think the most defining thing I can say is if you've got a good connection, you're probably going to enjoy this game, because there is still camping, there's still a lot of people hiding, but for the most, everybody's running around and everybody's having a good time, aside from, you know, the people that get really frustrated like me when I die a lot, and it's not my fault. But as long as your connection's not too bad, you're probably going to enjoy yourself, and that is my main criticism as well. Whenever I'm on a bad connection, it's almost impossible for me to have a good game, regardless of how hard I try or what gun I use. I just lose the gunfights, even if I fire first. And pretty much every game I play where I get a good connection, I get a YouTube gameplay in it, and I've got maybe 6 or 7 of them to upload. There's nothing spectacular. You're not going to see any 70s and 1s, because I don't have the the connection to do that, unfortunately, and my passion for rushing and a bad connection is a cocktail that's going to get you raped. But this is not me making a complaint, it's merely an observation. I've never ever professed to be a super good player of Call of Duty. I'm just a decent player with a bad connection, and it's just, you know, what you've got to put up with. But that's pretty much my consensus on the multiplayer at this moment in time. I will talk at length about it in the online commentaries I'll be doing, but this is the guide, and I don't want to bog down people that have no interest in the multiplayer by talking a load of shit that they just couldn't care less about. So this street here is a perfect example of how powerful the SCAR is in the campaign. You will just own people if you can aim, and aiming with it is a blessing because it's so streamlined. But once you push through to this section, you're going to be going into a drain, so you've got to wait for Sandman to remove it. And this next area is not too challenging, but your team can get in the way, which can be really annoying, so you need to be as vigilant and as perceptive as you can so that you don't, you know, put yourself in a bad situation. So there's the objective completed. Now we get to climb down the ladder, and it's probably going to fade to black until somebody turns a torch on. But we're just going down the ladder apparently, and it's taking quite some time. So he's scanning in here to see if there's anything that's going to kill you toxin-wise or, you know, chemically, and I don't think they get any readings, so you can take your gas mask off, which is quite nice because then it's not going to obscure your screen anymore. But truth be told, it never really makes that much of a difference, in my opinion. None at all, really. But I think if I was buying Skyrim, which I'm not, unfortunately, people, I will not be doing a guide for it. It is far too big, far too long, and far too much of a commitment. I've got other priorities at the minute that are going to be taking over YouTube once I get this guide out, and it's just the way it has to be if I'm going to, you know, not fail my university course. But I will be doing a quick look type thing, which, if you're new to my channel, it's a series called Balls Deep, where I play new and old games for a set period of time, and I pretty much tell you my thoughts on it while doing something within the game. And they are live commentaries, and they're generally pretty fun. A lot of my subscriber base really enjoy them, so hopefully anybody that's new, if you check them out, you will too. And for Skyrim, I'll probably do a really long one just to give it a good chance and just be silly. I might even do a live playthrough if people want to see that, but it'll not be uploaded as frequently as it could because it's going to be, you know, a second priority for me. I don't even know what the next walkthrough is going to be either, people. I usually say during the course of the guide I've just made what I'm going to be doing next, but because I haven't had a chance to do too much focusing on the projects I've got right now, I'm probably just going to do standard commentaries because I've got a lot of Gears 3 to still upload. I've got a lot of old Black Ops games and things that I should really delete, but there's a couple I want to put up because they're quite fun. And I've got a lot of zombie gameplay as well, so I'll probably be asking you people for some more questions to send in message format so that I can answer them, just to keep diversifying the channel, just to keep people interested, because there's nothing worse than your favourite subscriber or your favourite channel or whatever you want to say who does nothing but one thing, and it gets to that point where you liked it for so long you just can't find the strength to go and watch them anymore because they don't do anything different. And hopefully I will never be that person. But this is where the game actually kicks off, and we go out of tourism mode, and you get to shoot some people. And the 74U, man, I love this gun so much. I can't believe it's not in the multiplayer. But this section, you've got to chase this dude. And there's two parts when it says he's going to get away. And if you don't chase on that section, you'll lose him. And you'll fail. So this is one of the corridors. And the best way to do this is to do a 9-banger. 9-bang the corridor, hip fire and run up, reload, throw another 9-banger out, and then just rush the corridor. Because there's a lot of guys here. They love to crouch, they love to hide. And that grenade will tell you where they are. It's just full on, you know, Mile High Club on veteran mode, stun, run forward, kill people, repeat ad nauseum. And when you get into this room, just keep moving as fast as you can, and as long as you're pretty swift, you should not fail this section for any reason. But as soon as you get here, do not run straight forward, you will die. There's too many guys looking at you. There's your checkpoint, just in case you get silly, and now you can just take your time, pop off dudes, and work your way gradually towards the car. Obviously, I'm using a submachine gun, so my range is going to be not too great, and they all have rifles and perfect aim, so you want to stay in cover as best you can, and use your team as cover if at all possible. It'll probably save your ass once or twice. And here is an interesting rail section that can be really bullshitty. So, I've mentioned before in other videos that every so often you'll come to a rail section where you can randomly die for no real reason, and it's not your fault. This is another one of those sections, and it involves the gunners, the mounted gunners on the Humvees that are going to attack you. If you don't kill them when they first turn up, they'll probably kill you. It's not very fun, there's not much you can do because your aim's bobbing everywhere. You've just got to try your best. Pick up this light machine gun, this will definitely make life easier, and try not to reload after every guy you kill. Because one of the mistakes I make is, once you shoot this first guy on the turret, if you reload you do not have enough time to kill the next guy before he kills you because you're still reloading. And unless you know how to do the reload cancel, which is really slow on this game, it still doesn't save you. But you'll notice I reloaded after saying all that, and I had enough time to do it, but just be aware, if you do it too frequently, you will get shot. And I've just completely contradicted what I just said, so if you've got good aim, and you can shoot the people that are gunning you, you won't have any issue. Just a word of warning, I died a few times on this section the first time I played through, and I died once or twice on the recording run. Because aiming when the screen's shaking everywhere, like some epileptic breakdancer, is never fun, and it can be extremely challenging, so just try your best, I'm sure you'll do it. And this is all just needless fanciful stuff that doesn't really have any implications on the game because we're not even doing anything. But it puts you back in the front seat, and this is kind of interesting. You've got to shoot the car to make it tip, and when you hit the car, you've got to shoot the two guys that are pulling guns. If you don't do it, you will die. So as soon as it goes slow motion, aim at the two guys in the back seat, clean them up as quickly as you can, and the level is done. You're going to crash the car, you're going to pull the vault guy out of it, beat his tits off a little bit, and pretty much end another simple level, which is always a refreshing feeling. But I don't have too much to say because I want to get this guide out as quickly as I can, so I'm just going to leave you with the final moments and some bittersweet silence. So as always people, thanks for watching, I hope the guide's helping, and you take care now.